Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for May 14th, 2020. If you add all those numbers up, you actually get a 14, and if you add the 1 and the 4 together, you get the number 5. So the number 5 is the number of the physical body, earth energy, healing, teaching, grounding, the feminine. It's the number that is feminine because it's the number of the pentagram, which has 5 points, and is a symbol for magic and a symbol for healing. And it shows how nature is, this center point for the feminine healing. And the gurus used to say that everything on the earth is feminine. Everything, the plants, the animals, everything is feminine by nature because we're on earth and we're on this feminine planet, and that consciousness is masculine. But the physical world is all controlled and in the domain of the feminine. So today is a physical body Earth Day with the number 5. And, I sat there and I thought about it, and, it's raining here in Northern California, and I wonder what it will take for humanity to come back together in unity to support this world and the life on it. It's clear to me that a pandemic is not enough. Shocking as that sounds. So what is next? Holy cow, I worry about that question. In the process of this world, finding out what it will take for humanity to care more about this earth than themselves and ego is the question. I expect life to continue to challenge us in ways that we never expected. Regardless, it is important to stay grounded. Focus on what you can do that makes a better world. Feed your families, great meals, exercise together, take walks, play and cuddle with the pets in your life, and maybe a person in your life if you've got somebody in your house. Laugh and watch movies and keep family close. Because what we tend to remember are those moments of togetherness, those moments when family was the most important thing. And I think that in a world of distractions and cell phones and social media, for the people in our lives to feel like they are really important is really essential right now. Okay, the astrology. The last quarter moon in Aquarius is bringing up things such as health problems, exhaustion, disagreements. So take some time for yourself, and that's necessary for you to regroup. The moon in Aquarius trines Venus in Gemini, so remember to be adaptable and courteous. A cheerful mood will go a long way. Conflicts are not going to help in any way, so why pick a fight? The moon will go into Pisces in the evening, shifting the focus into a more sensitive place where you take a look at your personal emotional state of mind. So meditation is very important today, and it is clear that tomorrow you will want to prioritize around your body and soul and what it needs to regenerate. As you are getting ready for sleep, the moon in Pisces will conjunct Mars in Pisces, and this will make some people hot under the collar, irritable and violent, probably tomorrow. So you may notice that there's quite a bit of inner tension, and know that this type of stress can make you vulnerable to illness because immune systems become compromised when there is a buildup of too much stress. The sun in Taurus trines Pluto in Capricorn at bedtime. You need the sleep for a stronger vitality tomorrow. With the right energy, you could achieve great things. Jupiter goes retrograde, and you're going to be rethinking a lot of things as eventually all the planets are going retrograde. And goals have already shifted, and they will continue to modify throughout the summer. Life is teaching us a new perspective and continue to alter the areas of excess that do not really help anything. The planets going retrograde remind us that we are still supposed to be slowing down, really slowing down. And so I don't expect this, quarantine thing to go away as quickly as everybody wants, because with all those planets going retrograde, which is rare that they all go retrograde at one time. I mean, we are constantly being asked to review and reflect and review and reflect and review and reflect. So whether you want to shift things more rapidly or not is not the issue. Clearly at this time, getting what we want is an issue that is not going to work at this time. So allow the process to unfold slowly in its own time. Don't push, just allow it to be. While you long for a normal reality, this is where we are in this moment. This is the normal in this moment. Tomorrow there will be a Sun-Pluto trine. I can talk today. And this makes you want to be more efficient and organized. My quote for today, actually my quotes for today come from Frank Lloyd Wright. So I was looking at the architecture of this moment, the architecture of this world, and how beautifully the Divine Mother Feminine orchestrated and created this structure that is forcing us to regroup. So the quote is from Frank Lloyd Wright, "I believe in God, only I spell it nature." Another one is, "Less is more, only when more is no good." And the other one is, "Mother Art is architecture. Without an architecture of our own, we have no soul of our own civilization." And then my blog for today, like I said, I put in these quotes from Frank Lloyd Wright because I was thinking about the architecture of this moment in this world and this reality, and I wonder what our children's children will think of us as they reflect back on our decisions and choices right now. I think how this moment will be taught in schools as an example of what to not do, hopefully, and what to do later on. I imagine how many dissertations will be written in the study of psychology about humanity's methods of navigating patterns of brain dysfunction using this time period as an example. I imagine how the neuropsychologists are having a heyday about the study of brain development and manifestations of dysfunction, as well as versions of PTSD. It is a field day for the realms of studying humanity on so many levels. Perhaps this is how best to move through this, observing it as a study in brain development and patterns of neurological dysfunction and the development of psychosis and delusions. I watch the patterns of dysfunction in my own family on many levels, angles, and lines. I believe that we all have patterns that we are here to overcome and awaken to. I believe we're all a little crazy somewhere inside. And I believe that denial is a pattern of brain dysfunction. I believe that learning to navigate such a dense and dualistic world is extremely difficult and fraught with patterns that can pull the mind out of functionality and coexistence into rage and harmful and violent tendencies. But I believe that peace is a natural state of being and where the mind wishes to go. I believe that nature shows us the way through the self-created chaos that the mind tries to manifest. I know that humanity needs a level of inner peace more than ever before. I watched my mother work through patterns from her childhood and the terrible abuse that she suffered. I saw the level of commitment that she had to unravel the many pieces of distortion and dysfunction that her psychotic, alcoholic, and Tourette syndrome mother had given her. I saw the level of determination she had at getting to the bottom of her own dysfunction. I admire that in her. She was determined to figure out what was hers, what wasn't, what was true, and what was the lie. I watched her work with an amazing psychiatrist for 19 years to get through it all, because that was all they had to offer anyone in the 1960s and 70s. To me, that shows you the level of suffering that a dysfunctional parent can inflict upon a child, because a child's mind is forming neurological pathways, and if that child is told something over and over again that is false, it creates false pathways that lead to false conclusions again and again. And that is how loops happen. That is how you can get caught in your own mind, trapped in repeating patterns of dysfunction that manifest a lifetime of illusions and distortions. Many never do the work to get out of those patterns and continue to harm others with their distortions, and that is how karma is created. My father used to say, people do not really change. People can change. They have the ability to change. But most personalities are set in stone from childhood, and no matter how much you try to help them, they will continue to doggedly hold on to certain patterns and refuse to change them, even when those patterns are hurting themselves and others. They can even see that they are hurting others, but they will still continue the pattern. I personally am committed to forms of healing that allow for my personal growth and evolution. I recognize that we have many past lives because figuring this out in one go would be next to impossible. Everyone is working on something. Everyone has karma they're working through. And I recognize that everyone is trying to figure them out. But there are those that work through patterns that they see, then many that they refuse to see, and then many that they are unable to see.